Y'all done talking to me? You done talking? Mm-hmm.
And when I felt stupid and dumb, it felt like I wasn't intelligent. She pushed me to do better in school, and because of Gabby, she motivated me to go to college.
This is Gabriella Dixon, an 18-year-old mother of two and popular TikToker who was determined to create a better life for her children. Tragically, her aspirations were shattered when she became trapped in an abusive relationship with her ex-boyfriend and father of her kids. After years of suffering in silence, Gabriella reached out for help by posting about her experiences with domestic violence. But one day, she would simply vanish without a trace.
Let's hear what you got.
All right. Well, these little...
Wrap it up.
On the morning of October 30th, 2023, the day started like any other for Gabi. She had dropped her children off at their grandmother's house, a routine she followed every week. But that day, she would not return. It wasn't until July 24th, 2024 that her body was discovered near Bowdoin Road in Monroe County, hidden in the woods close to Highway 87, badly decomposed, with gunshot wounds, discarded like trash. As police scrambled for answers, they uncovered a devastating truth. The one behind it all was her ex-boyfriend, the same man who had subjected her to repeated domestic abuse. Before we get to the heartbreaking moment, let's step back and look at the events that set everything in motion.
I'm sorry, I just need 1 minute to make sure I look good. Do you think I look good, Mr. Armstrong? Really?
You got to get on your Zoom. Every morning you got to get on your Zoom at 10.
Because I can't eat enough without you, and I can't sleep enough without you. What happened?
Gabriella Dixon, affectionately known as Gabi, was an 18-year-old mother living in Macon, Georgia. A devoted mother to her two young children, Gabi was known for her bright spirit and loving nature, always putting her children's needs above her own. Despite her young age, she embraced the responsibilities of motherhood with grace, becoming a resilient and determined figure. She was admired for her strength and optimism, even in the face of personal challenges.
Twin, Jill vibe, like, your is not Jill vibing, like, at all.
Baby, you can save them lives for that wanna hear 'em. For that's gonna believe 'em.
Gabi's unwavering love for her children was the core of her being, guiding her every action. She cherished every moment spent with them, doing everything she could to provide them with a loving, nurturing environment. Gabi's friends and family described her as a compassionate soul, always willing to lend a hand or offer a listening ear. Her positive attitude and unshakable faith inspired everyone around her. In addition to her role as a mother, Gabi worked tirelessly to create a better future for herself and her children, despite many obstacles she encountered along the way. She was determined to break through the barriers that life had set before her, always hopeful for a brighter tomorrow for her family. However, despite Gabby's best efforts to create a life filled with hope and love, her life was overshadowed by an on-again, off-again relationship with Reginald Harris. Reginald was the father of her children. While on the outside, Reginald may have appeared loving and caring, underneath, he harbored a dark, abusive side that would eventually unravel Gabby's life and destroy the peace she so desperately sought.
At the end of the day, man, having a boyfriend ain't gonna work.
Gabby's relationship with Reginald was toxic from the beginning. Their relationship had always been a tumultuous one, marked by cycles of brief happiness followed by intense emotional and physical abuse. Despite this, Gabby remained tied to him, struggling to break free largely for the sake of their children. She was caught in a cycle of manipulation and control, unable to escape his grip, even as she tried to put her best foot forward for her children. The abuse started early in their relationship. Gabby later shared that Reginald had first hit her when she was just 16 years old. Afterward, he apologized profusely, promising it would never happen again. But it did. Time and time again, Gabby endured physical violence and emotional manipulation, always hoping he would change. Each time he hurt her, she struggled to hide the scars, both physical and emotional, from those around her. She began to isolate herself, not wanting to burden her friends or family with the pain she was enduring. Despite his control over her life, Gabby continued to find ways to reach out for help. In quiet moments, she would post cryptic messages on social media, hoping someone would see and understand the gravity of her situation. She wanted to escape, but every time she tried, Reginald's grasp on her became tighter. The fear of what he might do next kept her in a constant state of anxiety.
My baby, you're my baby.
I don't got no type.
Nah.
Baby is the only thing that I like.
Yet her love for her children and her desire to break free from the cycle kept her pushing forward despite the overwhelming odds stacked against her. But just when Gabby seemed to gather the strength to leave, something changed. On the morning of October 30th, 2023, Gabby dropped her children off at their grandmother's house, a routine she followed every week. But that day, something was different. Gabby did not return.
What you say your name is? Like, this your first time being, around me. Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, what crew about to cry? Yes, I'm about to cry. All this bullshit I've been through.
As the hours ticked by, her family's concern grew into fear. This was unlike her. They knew Gabby was young, but she kept to her words. If she said she would do something, she did it. What had happened to Gabby? Her family's worst fears would soon come to light. As time went on, their worry turned to panic. Gabby had never been gone this long without any word. Something was wrong. Her family immediately contacted the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, reporting her disappearance. The police quickly launched an investigation to locate Gabby. As the hours stretched into a full day, her family's fear intensified.
We have a developing story for you in the disappearance of an 18-year-old woman. This afternoon, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office says the disappearance of Gabriella Dixon may be a homicide.
The 18-year-old was reported missing last week, and the family called the Sheriff's Office for help.
Never just see her or hear from her. It's heartbreaking.
Right now, the family says they want to bring their daughter home.
Camila Williams spoke with the family about their suspicions and why they want justice.
We didn't like a lot of company, but we could sit by ourselves, we could read, and we would be just fine.
Gabby Searcy describes her daughter, Gabriella Dixon, as her mini-me, but she just hopes wherever her daughter is, she will be fine too.
I'm still holding on to faith.
Last Tuesday, Searcy says she never got a call or text from her daughter to let her know where she was. When Dixon's kids arrived to her home, she said the 2-year-old said something that rattled her.
She touched my knees, and she said, "Mama, Gabby is sleeping in blood."
Stunned, she looked at her 2-year-old and asked once more.
She said, "Gabby is sleeping in blood."
She didn't want to think the worst, but others started asking.
It became real to me, like, okay, this is not it. She hasn't called me, she hasn't said anything.
Dixon filed a missing persons report with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. They first reported it last Wednesday as a missing person case, but on Monday, they said they had evidence that suggests Dixon was killed. So far, she has not been located. Searcy says she wants the Sheriff's Office to do more.
I'm sure they have a special team that's trained, and they should have had some type of search party.
Searcy says family members have searched for Dixon since her disappearance. Her husband, Daryl Searcy, says the mission remains the same.
We want to bring her home. We want justice, but most importantly, we want to bring Gabby home.
Gabby says while her daughter is 18, she's her little girl in her eyes.
Not being able to ever see her again, never. It's unreal. No parent should have to do this.
Now, all that's left is finding Searcy's mini-me.
The Sheriff's Office says they have a possible suspect in the case, but they declined to give more details.
As the investigation progressed, suspicion turned to Reginald Harris, Gabby's ex-boyfriend and the father of her children. They uncovered a disturbing history of domestic violence between Gabby and Reginald. Reports indicated multiple incidents of violence, but one of those incidents would raise eyebrows. In September 2023, just weeks before Gabby's disappearance, Reginald had fired shots at Gabby's car, putting her and their 2 children in grave danger. Reginald had followed Gabby's car while she, her current boyfriend, and children had been driving. A few hours after the shooting, Reginald then confronted Gabby at her mother's house, and he claimed Gabby was disrespecting him by having his children around another man. That day, Gabby had also shown deputies a text from Reginald's that read, "Don't be surprised when I knock on the door," according to a warrant. Not only that, another altercation happened when Reginald choked Gabby and threatened her with a gun. He said he would kill Gabby if she left him, the warrant read. Law enforcement had even advised Gabby to obtain a restraining order, but it was unclear whether Gabby ever followed through. Reginald's violent outbursts painted a clear picture of the dangerous environment Gabby was living in, making it easy to believe that he could be the one responsible for her disappearance. As the investigation into Gabby's disappearance continued, authorities began uncovering disturbing evidence, leading them to believe that her ex-boyfriend, Reginald Harris, was not just a suspect, but someone who could hold the key to solving the case. Yet, Reginald denied any involvement. He claims that Gabby had simply disappeared on her own, offering no further explanation or helpful information. His behavior, however, raised more red flags. He initially told police that he had dropped Gabby off at her father's house on October 30th, but later changed his story, leading investigators to question his version of events. As the investigation deepened, detectives found evidence that began to paint a clearer, darker picture. One neighbor's tip would prove to be a crucial turning point in the case. A neighbor came forward reporting that they had seen a man discarding items by a dumpster just days after Gabby went missing. The neighbor described seeing what appeared to be a body wrapped in a blanket in the back seat of a car, raising immediate suspicion.
My telephone, and she stated Monday night she saw a guy getting rid of items by a dumpster. Also, the guy had a car, and they saw somebody laying across the back seat, and it looks like they were just wrapped up in a blanket. She said it initially looked like a body to her, so she didn't want to make too much of it.
When police were called to the scene, they discovered blood-soaked bedding and clothes inside the dumpster, items that were later linked to Gabby. But that was just the beginning of a chilling series of events. Simultaneously, blood was found in Reginald's apartment, adding to the growing list of troubling evidence that suggested foul play. This evidence, along with Reginald's conflicting statements, put the authorities on high alert. He initially told the police that he had dropped Gabby off at her father's house on October 30th, but later changed his story, leading investigators to question his version of events. Gabby's mother mentioned getting text messages from Reginald while he was in custody. In one message, he allegedly told her, investigators later uncovered reports of text messages that Reginald had allegedly sent to his current girlfriend, asking her to gather certain supplies. This detail emerged through the family's own determined efforts as they tried to piece together what had happened to Gabby. Little did investigators know, the story was far from over.
I'm angry, and he calls on a recorded line. When you're calling collect, it tells you the line is recorded, so the police know what he's telling us. I just wish they would go do something about it.
Gabriella's mother says she has proof of a text Harris sent his current girlfriend.
He said, I need trash bags and bleach. Let me tell you something about the guy that I once loved as a son. He's not cleaning up anything.
Adding to this mother's suspicions, if Gabby is dead, and if Harris was involved, others may have been involved as well. Then, chilling words from Gabby's daughter.
She's 2, but she's very smart. She's seeing Gabby laying in blue.
In the midst of this pain and confusion, one of Gabby's children would provide a chilling account of what may have happened to their mother, leaving everyone around her haunted by the possibility of what Reginald was hiding. One of Gabby's children, a very perceptive 2-year-old girl, started talking about what she had witnessed. The child reportedly said, "Mama was in blood." These words sent a wave of horror through Gabby's family. Gabby's mother, Gabriella Dixon, broke down in tears after hearing this, and it seemed as though the weight of this revelation confirmed her worst fears, that Reginald Harris was involved in Gabby's disappearance and possibly her death.
Days ago, she's telling me other things. She's stating that Reggie shot my Gabby.
I would like them to at least say where the body is to put it to rest. I would really like that, because I just feel like she's not at peace.
Prepared for the worst, still praying.
Maybe we should ride to Alabama and look. Maybe we should drive along the highway and look. And I think that's what we're gonna do next. We're just gonna make a trail and start making our way to Alabama, because he has family there. Who's to say, after it happened, they drove to Alabama and disposed of her body, because hey, who's gonna look there? Bibb County is not.
With mounting evidence pointing toward Reginald Harris, the authorities focused their efforts on bringing him into custody, but another arrest would soon shake things up. In a significant development, 19-year-old Jarvius D'Angelo Price was arrested on November 16, 2023, in connection with Gabby's disappearance. Jarvius, initially identified as a person of interest, was charged with making false statements and tampering with evidence related to Gabby's case. His arrest was part of a larger investigation that sought to connect the dots and uncover the full scope of the mystery. While Jarvius's arrest did not immediately solve the case, it indicated that there were more people involved in the unfolding drama than anyone had initially realized. As the investigation continued, Gabby's family grew increasingly desperate. despite law enforcement's ongoing investigation. Gabby's family, led by her mother, Gabriella Dixon, took matters into their own hands. Desperate to find answers, they organized their own search parties, scoured the area for potential clues, and distributed flyers with Gabby's photo across the region. Gabby's parents and siblings refused to give up hope even when the investigation seemed to stall. Gabriella Dixon spoke publicly about the frustration she felt, criticizing the Bibb County Sheriff's Office for their lack of urgency and progress in the investigation. Gabby's mother and stepfather, Daryl Dixon, were torn between disbelief and hope. Her frustration grew when she learned of Reginald's arrest on unrelated charges. He was facing aggravated assault charges, but there was still no official answers about Gabby's whereabouts. Yet, even as the investigation seemed to stall, Gabriella continued to advocate for her daughter's return, organizing more search efforts and holding on to the belief that Gabby would be found alive. But Gabby's family didn't just sit idly by. They turned to their community for help. $5,000 in rewards were offered for any information leading to Gabby's whereabouts, hoping to encourage individuals who might know something to speak up. They also promised $1,500 for tips that would help uncover the truth about Gabby's disappearance.
Gabby Dixon's family, friends, and concerned neighbors searched for her from the very beginning.
Maggie Fitzgerald is in studio with us tonight to share a timeline from the first moments that her family knew something was wrong.
Frank and Lori, it all started during the last few days of October of last year. That's when Gabby's family says they saw her for the last time.
Still heartbroken, I'm upset. I've developed hate, something I've never experienced before, but I have a lot of hate in my heart right now.
Cersei never received a text from her daughter, which first tipped her off that something might be wrong.
We want to bring her home. We want justice, but most importantly, we want to bring Gabby home.
A few days later, they filed a missing persons report with the Bibb Sheriff's Office. They searched for her in November at Carolyn Creighton Park and the Ocmulgee Heritage Trail. That's also when the family offered a $5,000 reward if a tip led to an arrest or a conviction.
We want to keep bringing awareness to it so that she doesn't turn into a cold case, that this stays fresh on people's mind.
They continued to hold rallies and searches, advocating along with other families who had loved ones' cases go cold, and demanding more answers from law enforcement and the district attorney's office.
I asked for an update maybe about a month ago. They said they're in the process of getting search warrants. You're getting search warrants almost 3 months after the fact. Why aren't search warrant? Why wasn't a search warrant issued months before? Why is it taking months?
With this effort, they hoped to shine a light on the case, using community support to push the investigation forward. They knew that Gabby's story needed more attention, and that the more eyes on the case, the greater the chance of finding out what happened to her. Their determination to find Gabby never ceased, and they continued to search, share, and raise awareness. And soon, the truth surfaced, and it is heartbreaking. On July 24, 2024, a crew working near Bowdoin Road in Monroe County stumbled on something that would change the course of a year-long investigation. Hidden in the woods close to Highway 87, workers discovered human remains. Authorities quickly arrived on the scene, and the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, joined by Bibb County deputies, began processing the area. For Gabriella Dixon's family, the news was devastating. Her mother recognized the red hair and clothing found at the site, details that matched her description. Though official confirmation was pending, she was nearly certain the remains belonged to Gabby. Investigators later revealed evidence of a gunshot wound to the head, and the remains were sent to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab for forensic identification. That same day, law enforcement moved swiftly. Jatarius D'Angelo Price, who lived less than a mile from the discovery site, was taken into custody once again, this time on charges of conspiracy to harm. His proximity to the scene raised troubling questions. Had he known more than he admitted? And was he connected to Reginald? Reginald, already incarcerated, now faced new warrants directly tying him to Gabby's disappearance. Both men were denied bond in July 2024, signaling prosecutors' determination to treat the case with the gravity it deserved. The court's decision suggested that Jatarius and Reginald were considered dangerous or potential flight risks. For the community, the arrests brought a measure of progress, but also deep unease. Residents of Bowdoin Road, unaccustomed to such violence, expressed shock that their quiet area had become the center of such a grim discovery. The family, who had endured nearly a year of uncertainty, now faced the painful reality that Gabby was gone. Prosecutors prepared to rely on physical evidence, witness accounts, and Gabby's own digital trail, her social media posts documenting escalating threats, to build their case. Gabby's 2 young children lost their mother. Her family lost a daughter and sister, and the wider community was forced to confront how a vulnerable teenager had slipped through the cracks. Her stepfather, Daryl Searcy, spoke of the anguish of answering her children's questions, knowing their mother would never return.
2 birthdays with the granddaughter's birthdays. One turned 1 and she didn't get a chance to see her mother, or didn't get a chance to spend time with her mother. The other one turned 3, and they're constantly asking every day where their mother is, and we don't have any answers.
Gabby's own writings revealed the isolation and manipulation she endured. She described how Harris divided her from her family, minimized the abuse by insisting he left no bruises, and convinced her no one would believe her. She wrote of feeling trapped, crying in silence, and hoping submission might stop the violence. Despite the lack of support, she began documenting her experiences, determined to tell her story. Her words now stand as testimony, a proof of her struggle, her love for her children, and her resilience. Though her life was cut short, Gabby left a lasting mark. Her family remembers her as compassionate, strong-willed, and inspiring. Even in grief, they hold on to the belief that her story will help others recognize warning signs and seek help before it's too late.
My daughter,
that proved true by the number of family, friends, and even strangers who showed up Saturday to honor Gabby Dixon.
A man can live 100 years and not leave a mark. Gabby left a mark.
That mark bled on her former classmates.
And when I felt stupid and dumb and felt like I wasn't intelligent, she pushed me to do better in school. And because of Gabby, she motivated me to go to college.
And the people in the pews as her family told stories of how Dixon shared more than just a similar name with her mother.
You ever met my wife? She's real short in stature, and she is a force to be reckoned with.
She kind of reminded me of a Sour Patch Kid, because you know how they say first they're sour, then they're sweet. She was very compassionate and loved to help others.
That love was engraved in her 2 babies, her friends, and her siblings. But even in their time of pain and mourning, the family is finding strength in God.
And even though God chose to take her away from us at this young age, I'm thankful for God putting us together. I'm thankful for the limited time we were able to have.
Believing God will unite them all again.
I'll see it again. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm going to see it, because God already told me.
Gabby Dixon's disappearance and death is a painful reminder of how domestic violence can destroy lives. Her family's relentless pursuit of the truth and justice serves as an inspiration to all who hear her story. Domestic violence is a devastating epidemic, but it is not insurmountable. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, please reach out for help. You are not alone. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.
I'm sorry. I just need 1 minute to make sure I look good. Do you think I look good, Mr. Armstrong? Real.
You got to get on your Zoom. Every morning you got to get on your Zoom at 10.
Because I can't eat enough without you. And I can't sleep enough without you. That happened.
twin, chill vibe. Like, you're is not chill vibing, like, at all.